Chuck?
Chuck, it's you.
Oh! Scared the intro right out of me. Hi, welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour. This is a show where we do something live in front of you without a net. This is not a polished demo. This is just three guys getting together, having fun, learning something as we go, sharing that with you. If we bump our knees or scrape our elbows, well, hopefully you'll learn not to do that. If we're successful, you take that away. So let's go around and do our quick intros.
I'll go first. My name is Brad Tilton. I am a developer. I'm a senior developer advocate with a developer program at ServiceNow. I've been building stuff on ServiceNow for about 13 years. Yeah, that's me.
Earl, you're on mute now.
Hi, everyone. I am Earl Duque, and I am the ghost of wiki.servicenow.com.
R.I.P.
And you've been with ServiceNow for 2 months now?
2 months
tomorrow.
now, yes.
He's officially an old timer.
2 months tomorrow. Yeah, I got the email saying, hey, it's the final month of your onboarding. I was like, oh, okay.
And my name is Chuck Tomasi, been on the platform about as long as Brad, since 2008, was a customer for a couple of years, and then came to the mothership and have been doing various roles, including this one. So happy to be here. Okay, now that I've got that out of the way, let's go around to our drinks.
I am drinking a spiritless old fashioned, so it's a non-alcoholic bourbon. We're going to see how it is.
And I am drinking a Heretic Chocolate Hazelnut Porter.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh man, that sounds like dessert.
That's why I'm drinking it. Yum.
I've got something a little more seasonable. I've got the pumpkin porter from Four Peaks, local brewing here in Phoenix. I think there's something wrong with my focal length, but we'll work on that.
Woo! What are we doing today, Brad?
Okay, and for the main event, what are we working on today, Brad?
What a good question. We did figure out who was driving about 15 minutes ago, which is...
Wait, we figured out the intro 5 minutes ago, and I still screwed it up.
It was a lot of... I thought you said you were doing it. No, I thought you said
did.
you were doing it.
Whoosh.
Yeah. So believe it or not, usually we know farther in advance who's actually running this thing. But what we're going to do today, this is a Hacktoberfest themed live coding happy hour. We've got some Hacktoberfest stuff out there. Our blog on Hacktoberfest has a lot of information on what it is that Hacktoberfest is, and how you can get involved. There's links to the 5 different ways that we're getting involved. I think it's devlink.sn/Hacktoberfest21 is one of the short links. We also talked about it on the last week's Breakpoint podcast. And yeah, so we are going to actually do some Hacktoberfest. The nice thing here is that this is absolutely not practiced because we had no idea what was going to happen. But we're going to get in and do a code snippet at least. And so we will kind of show you how all this works. I actually haven't done a lot of GitHub stuff lately, so I may stumble around in GitHub, and which is good. We can all kind of see how it is supposed to work. But yeah, so what we're seeing on the screen here is my Hacktoberfest 21 profile. The very first thing that you should do is go to the Hacktoberfest website, which is hacktoberfest.digitalocean.com, and it will let you register for this year. I registered using my GitHub credentials, and I am assuming that those will get tracked when I make qualified pull requests against Hacktoberfest repos. So this is my profile. I just did this a little while ago, so I don't have any progress so far, but hopefully I'll get a little snowflake or gear or whatever this icon is. Flower. Maybe it's a flower by the end of because there's another one over here.
Yeah.
By the end of the episode. All right, Earl, anything to add before we jump in? Or
So
Chuck, you can both talk.
I want to encourage people that are watching now, if you have questions about the Git process or anything like that, this is a good time to ask, because we'll be running through the beginning to the end. And if you don't understand some of the terminology, stop us, ask us about what's a fork, what's a branch, what does a pull request mean. We'll try to explain a little bit as we go along, but if anything gets lost, just let us know.
All right. So I'm going to start in the code snippets repo, which is at ServiceNow Dev Program /code snippets. And this is probably our primary repo for Hacktoberfest. We've got 5 different ways that you can participate, but the code snippets is the one that has the most work behind it anyway. So if I scroll down a little bit, you can see that it tells you how to contribute. It also has this message here that says this README is automatically generated. So don't try to edit this README as one of your pull requests because it probably will end up getting marked as spam. All right. So you can see there's a few things already in here. I think, Earl, how many participants do we have so far? I remember you had that stat handy earlier.
So in terms of pull requests, we already have almost 30 just in this repository, and in the other repositories we have a handful more. So just in our first day, we've already had great participation across, I think, about 15 contributors so far, which is really great numbers for the first day.
All right. Also, I see you in the comments. Don't judge my non-dark mode. I'm actually light mode in everything. I know I'm like the anti-developer, but I like.
I do dark mode for
brightness.
some things, but I find its impact really gets lost if it's done on everything.
That's fair.
I'm upset. I'm upset when there's no dark mode for different projects.
All right, so I think the first thing that I need to do if I want to participate in this code snippets is I need to fork this repo. So I'm going to go and click on fork. I'm going to fork it to my GitHub. It should only take a few seconds. All right.
Wow, it's your own copy of the repository. Amazing.
And now I have my own copy of this repository. So now I can do stuff to it and not worry about that I'm going to affect the other repo until I do a pull request. So what this code snippets is one of the top pieces of feedback we got from the developer survey this year was that we need more and better code snippets in our API documentation. And there's actually a couple of efforts going on to help that out. This is one of them. There's going to be another one. It'll get posted on the developer blog in the next few weeks, and you'll be able to kind of do both of them at the same time, I think, or at least not do too much duplication. But the goal here is to make our code examples better and have more of them. So you can see in here, we've got a few categories already. And I think what we're going to look at is probably glide query because we don't have anything in here for that yet. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
Sounds reasonable.
So we're going to start by taking a look at the APIs that we have. And so if you come into the developer site and go to reference server scoped, that's where I'm at right now. And one of the ideas we had was glide query. So let's take a look at glide query and see what we have in here.
I thought it already had amazing examples. Maybe not.
It does have some examples. Chuck, I thought you were the one that suggested glide query.
No, I said glide system.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was Earl. Yeah, there are some examples. Let's try another one.
Well, you can also provide like a use case example, not necessarily just these. I guess these are use case examples too.
Yeah, these actually look pretty good. Let's try. If somebody in the chat has a good has a good one that would also be helpful. But let's look at Glide's system and see if there's anything in here that I know how to use off the top of my. Oh, here we go. We've got a few.
Oh, I see some gaps.
Let's go.
I see lots of gaps.
Beginning of last week.
Ooh,
beginning of
checking
next
time
month.
and dates, huh? That's courageous.
Do it. I mean, it's pretty easy to do. I think. Well, let's go dev. What's my dev instance? That one. I was caramelizing onions yesterday. That's what's going on there. I'm gonna log in.
You didn't make yourself your own a Brad.Tilton account?
I think I have Brad.Administrator here. Wow. Got dark mode and now how I use my PDI. All right. So let's go. Go scripts background. Oh, and I am using. I am using the SNUtils browser extension that does this nice thing with the background scripts.
The one thing it does that it kind of gets in my way for one and only one reason is because I always would get used to typing the script in, then hitting tab enter. Tab would get you to the run script button. Now when you're in this script box and hit tab, it just puts a tab in the script box.
All right, so what if we, what was it, beginning of?
Can you embiggen your font?
Do what?
Embiggen your font.
All right,
let's do GS info. So
well, I switched to global.
Global. He can get away with it, but
yeah, but if you're providing it to a open source
that's true.
repository, you want to make sure it runs in every situation.
It works for everyone.
Let's switch back to a scope and then.
Well, you can use GS info in global.
Well, I did click into the scoped APIs, so I should probably do this in a scope.
Okay.
What do we have here? You know what? That's not going to work because
you need the. It doesn't take any arguments?
There we go. Beginning of last week was. That looks right.
That's correct with the time offset, is it? It's in GMT, and you're GMT -5. Why would it say 5 a.m.?
It's a great question.
Time zone offsets. This is the dark territory we went into.
This is why I said it was courageous for you to tackle this one.
All right, so let's do the first one. GMT, beginning of last month. Yeah, so that's and it's giving me the display value, right? So
okay. So we got beginning of last month, beginning of last week, beginning of next month. We could flesh out like 5 of these at the same time.
Yeah, we could put them all in one script for the code snippet.
All right, so
how I would approach this, if I were going to do a code snippet, I would first display what is the current date and time. And then you could do the beginning of last month, next week, that kind of thing. After that to show this is what you would get. That way you have a control or a baseline in that script. And it doesn't get aged in 3 weeks.
All right. No.
That won't. GS now
I'm not a. Is it? I thought now date time was a thing that I could scope.
I would go after. I would just say create a var called GDT as a new glide date time,
All right.
And then just do a GS info on gdt.get display value or
I see what you're trying
get
to do though.
value.
You're trying to play with color within the lines of glide system. I appreciate it.
Not sure if you can chain that or not.
Can I believe I can.
Okay.
There we go.
There you go. Okay.
So today is 10/1, beginning of last month, and it is 3:47 for me. So the beginning of last month. That looks right.
And my solution for fixing that offset is you could take that text and use that as an argument to create a new glide date time util. Then you can either use the display value or the value to get the offset or not.
But for this one, we're not doing glide date time, right? This is just GS stat.
Right.
All right. So if we want to go ahead and do this, do we need a glide system folder in here?
I think we need a glide system folder. You get to create a new one.
This is how this works, right?
Yep.
I saw Earl do this on the demo video.
And then what are we naming these?
So
Name it after the method?
The current structure for how we're doing it is the kind of code snippet you're using. So like glide system is correct. And then you're going to name what you're trying to show an example of. So I guess you're going to say
this one.
Maybe like month, date, time stuff, because I bet we could knock out a couple of them in here, right?
Yeah. Date, time. Are these going to be marked down?
No. So you're going to do another folder.
Yeah, this would be a folder.
Oh, got it. Now we use the method.
Yeah, so you could do. I would
name the method here. Seems like the easiest way to track it back to this page and this.
.js.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we'll need to make a README file after that, but we're one step at a time.
Then paste your script.
Maybe put some comments on it.
Yeah, that would be a good idea too.
Get the current date and time in your.
Nice one, Phil.
Did someone say naming convention? Phil says.
We have a question. Can we get the Hacktoberfest URL in the chat again?
Yes, of course. Here it is.
I bet we can.
Earl's ready with the banners.
Show the is it beginning of last month's date and time and the logged in users time zone.
No. Oh, yeah.
And then
I thought it said GMT, but
output would be. Let's see.
Copy and paste.
Yeah.
Now, let's ask I want to ask you, do you think the output should be here or on the README file?
That's a good question.
If you're going to have multiple files in here, though, date and time, you're going to have beginning of last month.
You're right.
Yeah. Let's do.
That'd be tough to have the output separate. I say keep it with this.
Yeah, you're right. I like that.
Soap.
I'm sure we'll figure out standards for all this later.
Yeah, once everybody adds their stuff, then we'll come up with a standard, right?
Right. We'll probably get pull requests later to get everything to standard.
Can you fix Brad's terrible code? Yeah.
I'm going to go preemptively create that issue in the repository. Fix Brad's code.
We could just add that to all the repositories. Can we commit this and show how the pull request process works?
Sure.
No, I would reject it if it doesn't have a README.
Oh, good call.
Wow.
Yes, all approvers, community approvers have been informed to follow the standards. So
Well, he's got to commit it to save it, right?
No, so you're committing this to your own repository. You don't have to pull it to the main one yet.
Yeah.
So you can commit it.
Right.
So I am committing directly to the main branch in my repository.
That is
then
correct.
I'll open a pull request in the main repository. So this is the first. I mean, if you've not used a lot of GitHub, this may be confusing. So I've forked it. So this is my own repo.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to commit this. And now we need a README in the datetime folder.
You're good. Add file.
Add file.
I swear it wasn't there a second ago. It's README with a capital R?
It
doesn't matter?
doesn't matter. No, it doesn't.
Doesn't?
Okay. Most people actually will capitalize it to say all caps.
All caps.
But so far, a lot of people participating have just been doing all.
That's not how I roll.
Okay.
It's too hard to hit the shift key.
Do we have some instructions on what is supposed to go into these README files?
Nope. It's just to describe what is happening in the script, basically. That's all we need. Some people have been putting titles, some people haven't been.
I'm gonna put a title.
Everybody's been putting titles. The only person that hasn't is Andrew Barnes.
Ooh.
Whoever that person is.
What a call out. System date time methods. Feels like. So why don't we put a link in?
I was going to say the same thing.
Wait,
There's like a link to this page would be exceptional.
New file. So,
ta-da. Docs. I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, we'll just.
Yeah. Official doc.
There you go.
API doc.
I want to just point out this comment from Andrew in the chat. He's saying, hey, add a description, an example to call the code, example output, link to the docs. Don't make me I'm going to have Brad pull up your README files that you've been submitting earlier today.
Wow.
He's just probably changing it real quick right now.
All right. So if we may end up with more than one of these. So let's say the first one is going to be beginning of last month. And then we'll say this is, let's. What else would we have in here? A link to the file, right?
A link to the JS you just built?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can do relative linking. That's fine.
Like sample code.
That? It was just the name, right? Yes. What else did Andrew want us to put in here? A description?
I don't think you want the leading slash on there. There you
go. So
yeah, say description.
What did we say?
I'd steal that right from the docs.
Yeah.
I want to make sure to anybody watching this, we're not asking you to copy code snippets from the docs to put in this repository. Where if there is a gap where there is no code snippet, then that's a great candidate. But
Yeah,
don't
so if you
copy
look
stuff.
at this, there is no code example for beginning of last month. And it's a fairly straightforward piece of code, but we need some sort of example there.
It's still very helpful to people who don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Did we get everything he... You know what? This is good enough for me.
And let's make sure your link works too.
That
Okay.
works.
If you want your bullet points nested, I think you have to do a certain amount of spaces before it. But we could do that another time.
Oh, yeah, I thought there were.
Why did it not? You know what? Let's just do... Let's not...
Do they have to be right next to each other? Yeah, that works too.
Yeah, this will work. Change
Fixed bullets.
numbers to...
And then I don't do
This is another reason why we fork, because then people can put as many commits as they want into the repository before adding it.
And you can't see Brad's 37 updates before he actually got it right. Just like when you do some dev work and you update something 37 times and then you move it to prod and it only shows the one version. Nobody knows.
First try.
Nailed it.
All right. So I want to commit this.
You want to add it to the main repository?
Let's
Pull request time.
Pull request time. Let's go to your homepage of that repository.
And then do I go to code? No.
Interesting. It usually shows a little pull request button up top when you have this.
Is it because I'm also an admin?
No, you just have to click on pull requests. There it is. Yeah, just go to the tab.
Oh, there we go.
And it should populate it automatically when you say new.
All right. So the base repo is our ServiceNow Dev Program code snippets. My repo is my own code snippets. They are able to be merged. So let's create a pull request. I get to add some comments somewhere, right? Yeah. So
my first one.
Nope.
3 more for a t-shirt.
Do I need to leave a comment? Yeah, let's say.
You didn't have to, but it's nice to.
Let's do it. All right, Earl.
It is out of your hands. It is out of your hands.
Yeah. So, Earl, are you going to show us how this works on the back end?
Sure. So I'm going to share what just happened. Oh, perfect. Great timing. That was perfect timing. Okay, so on my screen now is the SN Devs Slack. So if you are interested in joining a Slack community run by the community, it is go to sndevs.com to join. But in this Slack workspace, there is a channel called code snippets, code-snippets. And any action that happens on the code snippets repository gets pushed into this channel to let people know that new code snippets have been added and to let approvers know that someone is trying to get something added in. And so you'll see earlier, I'm hearing feedback. Are you guys hearing that?
I hear it as well.
Okay. You'll notice that earlier when Brad did a fork, it let us know that a fork happened. While we were streaming, Philip in the chat also did a pull request, so someone's going to want to look at that later. The one that Brad just did got posted in here, so I'm going to go ahead, as I'm one of the moderators for it. I'm going to go ahead and assign that to me. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that. Let me share my screen real quick. We're about to appear on screen for a hot second. Ooh. All right, so now as an approver, is this the one? Did I open the right one? Oh, I opened up Phil's, my bad. There it is. All right. So here's Brad's. I could see what files he changed. I see that he's adding new files, and here's the code itself. If I want to take a look at the README file and how it looks, I can actually go straight to Brad's version and find his file. I believe it was here. There it is. That's what it looks like. That looks good. Everything looks pretty chill here. I'm going to go ahead and approve it. Let him know. Great, first pull. Low-hanging fruit, though, huh? And I'm going to go ahead and merge that in.
Wow. Ooh, and it changed live on my screen.
Nice. And then I'm going to go back to the cool Slack integration that we made and show that, hey, look, a commit has been pushed by myself, and it's Brad's pull request. And so that's now live. And Brad, go ahead and go back into your the main repository for this code snippets.
Yep.
And if you scroll down, you should see your name hit the leaderboard now. There it is in top contributors, because you are above a lot of the people that have just forked so far. But it is only day one, so you're ahead on day one.
All right.
Nice. You did your first pull request.
That was my first pull request.
3 more for a t-shirt.
That wasn't too painful.
So let's see how fast does this get updated?
Slow. It's actually really slow.
Daily, maybe.
We're not sure. It's for some people it's been minutes. For some people it's been hours.
So
and
I guess
at one point
we've got 26 minutes left. What if I just sit here and refresh for the next 26? I'm just kidding.
Oh, there it is.
We'd lose our viewers.
It was one in progress.
Oh, in progress. There we go.
Yeah. So scroll down a little bit.
It'll happen.
So you'll see when you submit them, they're always going to be in progress. It doesn't show completed until 14 days have passed. So the earliest you can fully qualify for a t-shirt is 14 days from now. If you get all of your pull requests in today, it'll be in 14 days is when you qualify for the t-shirt. Unless I go in and reject your stuff.
So we had a question. Can we have a link to the Slack community? Great question. It's sndevs.com. And I bet we can have a URL up on the screen sometime soon. Boom.
As fast as I can type. So I'm totally down to talk about some nuances about the process. Yeah. So go back to your repository, Brad.
Okay.
You can click on the fork icon too, the number, and you'll see it there. If you have an existing fork,
yeah, here we go.
If you have an existing fork, clicking fork again will bring you to your fork. All right, so let's say, wrong banner. If you submit a pull request and then 3 days later, you're like, okay, I'm going to submit another pull request. It's good practice for you to align your repository back to the main repository, and you'll see that GitHub tells you at the top, yo, you're 6 commits behind ServiceNow Dev Program. So that means 6 other things have happened in the main branch of the main repository since Brad has forked this, and so it's out of date. And GitHub makes it super easy. All you have to do is click fetch upstream, and it makes sure that it works, and then you say fetch merge. And now your repository matches the main one again.
Nice.
Yay.
Yeah, and you would want to do this because, like, say you're adding something, but you're 100 commits behind. Someone might have already added it, so you
Yeah.
want to make sure it's all good and dandy first. One step that we took out of the process that makes to make it a little bit easier for everybody was making sure that you're on a different branch before you edit your code. And because most of the time people are just going to make one set of edits and then make a pull request to the main repository. We took it out we took out that step for simplicity's sake, and making it easier for people to participate. But best practice usually means after you fork the repository, usually you want to click on that little thing that says main, and then you want to branch your repository with a name that's matches what you're creating, basically. So the reason why you would want to do this is so that you can have multiple branches if you want to submit multiple pull requests at the same time. That's the main benefit. So in a situation, that's the main time to do that, is if you're wanting to submit multiple pull requests all at the same time, and especially if nobody's actively approving them at the moment. So that's a little thing to keep in mind.
So this would be like if I had a couple of different APIs and I started one of them and then I got stuck and then I worked on another one. I could have two different branches going and not have to worry about my pull requests.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because people, if this is your first time trying this stuff, I'm excited for you, because that's how a lot of normal software development works. That the pipeline of you have your own fork of code, and then you create a branch of it, and you work on that branch, and maybe that branch gets released into the main one. But then you want to make a different branch while waiting for that one to get approved. And say you're several releases later and an earlier release has a bug, but you need to work on it. That's what we call patching, and that's why for ServiceNow upgrades, you get different patches throughout the year of in different versions. That's similar to if someone was going back on an older branch and making sure it's up to date. So that's why you still get patches for older versions, because we have source control. The end. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
We have a good question. What's your number one thing you wish someone had told you about using Git?
What's my name?
A visual diagram.
What do you mean?
I think with every source control system I've learned throughout my career, going way back to the old Unix SCCS days, and then CVS and VCS and Git, it just, some sort of visualization of what's happening would be really would be really helpful.
Yeah. Phil says Git add.
I think my main thing that I would have loved knowing earlier was, I wish someone had told me the actual command on how to roll back commits. Because I remember at an old workplace that was using ServiceNow, our service portal, the checksum got changed, and this is back in the day when the checksum got messed up. Everything got messed up.
That was it.
Oh dear.
And we didn't know how to fix it until I had a student that walked up and was like, "Why don't you just roll back the commit?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad I hired you." And then we rolled back the commit, and everything was dandy and everything was fine.
Nice. Yeah, we had to do that. We had to do that with the dev blog a while back. I remember something happened to it.
I wish I knew about Hacktoberfest earlier, because I wanted more shirts. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm actually I'm wearing that shirt right now. That's why I wore the shirt today.
I should have worn mine.
You got the 2019, yeah.
Yeah. I have an 18, 19, and I technically have a 20 shirt, but it's I was too late on my pull request, and the only size they were able to send me was an extra small. So it's now my wife's Hacktoberfest shirt.
So we had another question from Phil where we mention moving away from update sets in the blog. And I think we talked about this on the podcast a little bit too.
Yep.
But what we're talking about is, as we are enhancing our ways to manage development in your company, manage ServiceNow development, we are, moving towards using GitHub to manage your development and deploying through the app repo. And so that's all that comment meant was, as we get more invested in using the source control integration to manage your development, it's more important to be familiar with how source control works. And so I'm sure Andrew has some more to add to that in the chat as well, because he's living and breathing that world right now. What else? We've got about, 15 minutes of dev time left. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the blog.
You can show that we can talk through the other repos too.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the blog. And we can take a look at the 5 repos.
Ooh.
So we do have 5 ways to contribute here. We've got code snippets, which we just looked at. We've got App Engine Studio applications. So the idea behind App Engine Studio applications is that if you build an app in AES and your PDI, you can, if you are on the Rome store release, you can then connect that to GitHub and sync it with Git, and then you can share that GitHub repo with us in the README, and that would count as one of your pull requests, sharing the repo, and then you could also let people enhance it if they want to. So that's that one. Integration Hub spokes. That was we've done Spoketoberfest in the past. And so I think we still have some spokes in there that you can contribute to and enhance. And I'm not sure if we have any open issues, but we've got that. And then we have instant scan checks. So I'm going to click into this one because everybody seems kind of interested in it in the chat.
Yeah, I was going to say, are these XML? What's in here?
I would, yeah, that is a good question. Is this
based on that folder? I would guess it is.
So this one, can I connect to this repo from my instance?
That's what it looks like. It looks like this is a pull it into your instance kind of thing.
So let's try it. Why not? There we go. Let's go here. All right, so let's pull it into my instance.
Have we had any App Engine Studio apps yet?
I have one that I've been meaning to upload. I don't think there's anything else in there. What was the? Is it just going to grab the default? I'm going to say main.
Uh-oh, we have a consistency problem. I'd be really upset if it said master didn't exist too. Well, Ben beat me to it. We should have had this. I think it's trombone.
All right, let's open the app and see what we have in here. Oh, do instant scan checks not show in App Engine Studio? Are there any checks in that repo? I don't remember what's here by default, so
I don't
I
either.
guess they would be associated with that app, probably, right?
Would it be a scope in Studio?
Here we go. There are some. There are 10.
Yay.
So I think I could add my own instant scan check, do everything I wanted to, and then come back in source control and say, commit my changes. Then they would get committed to Git, and then I could,
do a pull request from there.
do a pull request the same way. I guess we could do that. Here, what does this one do? Avoid global client scripts. This seems like a good idea. I clicked on it, I think.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Well done.
Look at all these descriptions.
Well done.
Nice. Who did this one?
I don't know. Show XML. I'm curious.
Where was that repo?
I would have just gone show XML and see who.
Oh, is it Daniel?
Pretty good.
That's gonna be tough to find.
History.
You don't read sysid?
Well, wouldn't it just be? Oh, never mind. That was your repo.
Yeah.
You can do show XML right there. See if it's in the record itself.
It's probably just admin.
Created by. This is created
Nia.
by Nia.
Nice.
All right.
Good job, Nia.
That's why
Nice.
you want your own account.
Nia does good.
No, mine just shows admin. That's the way I like it.
Oh, oops. Phil said in chat. Nia.
All right. So that was that. We have a couple more that we didn't look at. Or just one. Instant scan checks, and then we've got syntax editor macros as well. So I don't. Is this one empty or does it have something in it? Earl did something with it.
Oh, I know there's a bunch in there. I've been watching them in my mailbox all day.
Nice. Yeah, we have some good ones. What's new log?
And don't forget, instant scan checks, as Mark Ruthoff pointed out, don't necessarily have to be about code. They can be analyzing your data.
That's right.
The example I always use is make sure all the users have a manager so that your workflows work. So that's other. Think about data sanity, data consistency, data integrity kind of instant scan checks too.
All right. So this is the best place to go. I believe Earl recorded a video showing how you do pull requests and stuff as well.
Oh, I forgot to change the color on that one.
What are you talking about?
Oh no! There's a blacked out van in front of my house now.
No brand issues here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, look at that! Look, that's the good color right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have enough space above and below the letters.
We'll edit that in post.
I thought I did.
According to our branding, you have to have the height of that W. You have to have that much space above and below.
Oh my gosh! I didn't read the whole documentation then. Oh man,
It's been a nice 2 months, Earl.
Oh man.
So Phil asks, can we create our own scoped apps for Instant Scan, or is it all under Example Scan? I believe it would be all under Example Scan. But I mean, I think if you wanted to create your own scoped app, it would end up with its own repo, and we could register that for Hacktoberfest. So, if you do have a different thing that you want to do and think people would be interested in participating in, let us know, and we can see if it makes sense and then link to it from the blog.
Oh, I wonder if we should put our silent auction app up there.
Oh, do we want to do the quick little contest?
Ooh, yeah, let's do the quick little contest.
Okay, everybody, before I announce what this little contest is, I want to give people some time to get back to their seats and open this window if they were only just listening to us, because we're about to play a little game. It requires looking at the actual video and typing something into the chat to win. So I'm going to display something on the screen right now, and then I'm going to reveal it. Ready?
Can they see? Do I need to be?
You may want to be, yeah, just
it.
the solo there. That'll help. There's
All right.
five Halloween Easter eggs.
5 Halloween decorations on my background.
Okay, Phil's got one. How are we doing this? Somebody else.
First
You
person
gotta type all
all
five
five
of them in the same comment.
in the same comment. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay, all 5 in one comment.
Them. One of them's tough.
One of them's tough.
While we're waiting for people to figure that out, I had a lot of fun making that that code snippets repository, especially giving the tools to people to be able to self-moderate it. If you want to be a moderator for that repository, what we call a contributor, which gets review access and push access, so you can merge pull requests in, let me know. We already have a good list of people that are already on board and helping, and they've been making sure pull requests close within an hour. So, but if we get overwhelmed, we'll go ahead and get more people on the approvers list. Yeah.
I think Blake got it.
Blake
got it. Ben was close. But Blake got it.
Ambient was close too.
So it is the boo, the pumpkin, the spider, the skeleton hand, which is kind of hard to see, and the raven. Those are the new decorations.
This is great. We should do a little more on-screen contests more often.
Yeah. So Blake, ping one of us on some sort of platform. We're all over the place. Twitter, LinkedIn, SNDevs.
All right. Bonus points. What color tie was I wearing?
Ooh.
The contest should be all right, Blake, for you to get your prize, you need to message Brad on LinkedIn, Twitter, SNDevs, and
anything.
Who got your tie correct?
Technically it's lavender, but I'll go with purple on Phil.
So yeah, reach out. We'll get you a gift card link, and we will make it happen in the year 2021. Phil.
Unlike those jackets.
All right. Yeah.
Good job. Do you so? Are you still, Brad? Are you still planning on doing one pull request for all 5 repositories?
That is my goal. I would like to make one pull request for at least one for all 5 repositories.
Everybody remember, the faster you get your pull requests in, the more likely you'll get the shirt, period, and then more likely you'll get the shirt size that you want. So get your pull requests in as soon as possible. One thing we forgot to mention earlier is participation in this in these repositories help us know that you are contributing to the developer community, which means you get a little bit more pull on next year's developer MVP cohort. So be well-rounded, participate in a lot of different things, be in community, and we will see you there, and we will make sure to take note of the ones that should be invited into the new cohort. So,
any announcements?
We are, so this isn't I don't think we've said this yet. So we are moving, since our Rome enablement season is over. We're moving Creator Toolbox to Fridays as well, and we're going to alternate between Live Coding Happy Hour in the afternoon and Creator Toolbox in the mornings for the rest of the year. So next week will be a morning show, morning in terms of the U.S. Sorry, it'll be what, 5.5 hours earlier than this started. So 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific. So we'll alternate between Live Coding Happy Hour and Creator Toolbox every other week. So
point.
The only thing on Tuesdays will be Tech Now once a month until we get into San Diego.
And our topic next Friday, the 8th, will be on test-driven development. We've got Sasha from our Germany cohort coming in to talk about test-driven development. What else have we got? We've got another breakpoint coming on presentations to help you be more well-rounded as a developer, be more effective as presentations. We've got the Tech Now for October 26th. Jason McKee is going to come in and do a breakdown, or a deconstruct as we're calling it, on the kegerator. So he's got a smart kegerator. He hooked it up to ServiceNow. Some of you who were at Knowledge 19 in the CreatorCon space may have noticed this. When we started Happy Hour, what was it? Some evening, I don't know what it was, Wednesday or Thursday. He broke it out, and you could see, using performance analytics and some machine learning and whatnot, his sensors would tell him when they were predicted to run out of beer. And thankfully, we never did, because as we were running low, he'd get an alert, and then the services people could go get it. So it's a supply chain management use case, but it's kind of a fun one. And we don't have the registration page up yet, but I will make an announcement when we get that. Should be getting that next week. Is that it?
All right. Let's rate our beers this time.
Rate our beers, unlike last week.
We forgot last week.
I was drinking the spiritless old fashioned. It was decent. It had a nice spice at the end, which I enjoyed. I'll give it a 3.75.
I was drinking the Heretic Chocolate Hazelnut Porter. It's not as chocolatey or hazelnutty as I expected it to be, so which is what I was hoping for. So I'm gonna give it like a 3.25.
All right, and I've got the Four Peaks Pumpkin Porter, and I love the spelling on here. It's gorgeous, but gourd is like, pumpkin gourd kind of thing.
Nice.
Not as pumpkin-y as I would have liked, which I actually like, much like you, Earl. I don't want to be drinking a pumpkin. The porter came through more than the pumpkin, but it's very, very subtle, and I liked that. I would get this again. It's I'm going to give that a solid 4.25.
Nice.
All right. Thank you, Brad, for wading through the waters, and thank you, Earl, for supporting, and thank you, everybody, for viewing and sharing this with friends. Very important that we get the word out about source control and working together, collaborating, and especially for things like the code snippets and the syntax macros. Very, very helpful that we have a crowdsourcing solution to that. You are changing people's futures by improving the documentation. So no small task. With that, I think we are out of here, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and we will see you again real soon.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.